good morning, Rebels. I wanted to jump on today. It might be a slightly longer video to talk a little bit about overwhelm and how we can best manage that. And I've got some top tips for today. Now, we've all been there, I'm sure, in our corporate roles, and very likely to be there at the moment as we navigate sort of the coronavirus pandemic, whether you're self-isolating, whether you're shielding. Um, you're going to be working from home, maybe managing homeschooling too, and generally multitasking and juggling and trying to keep life ticking over. So these feelings are undoubtedly going to crop up time and time again. Not just with coronavirus at the moment, which is very significant for us, but when we're in our corporate lives as well. And that could be in corporate life, whether it's the frustration of your role, maybe wanting to leave, the uncertainty around taking the plunge, maybe handing in your resignation, or planning the sort of what next once the kind of email has been sent. And what I'm saying today, I guess, is kind of noticing when those feelings of overwhelm are bubbling up, particularly for us in the moment in the context of corona virus. To notice and to kind of respond with kindness and compassion. It's always going to be on our mind, and it's about tuning into that and to supporting ourselves, and that's self-kindness and compassion. So today what I wanted to do is to kind of share some top tips for when you're in that space of overwhelm, so you can really respect those feelings, kind of step into them, acknowledge that they will pass, and be kind and compassionate. So the first one I wanted to talk about today is something called grounding, and that's all about getting back into and in tune with our bodies. There's a number of things that you can do there. The first one is about breathing and watching your breath. And you've probably heard of it before. It's that belly breath where you kind of focus on your breathing. You can breathe into the count of 4 or 5, hold the breath for a couple of seconds, and then breathing out. And it's just that kind of pausing out and focusing on the sensations and what's going on in your body and any associated anxiety or overwhelm. The second one, a part of grounding, is moving our bodies. And this is often when we find ourselves in that kind of almost freeze response, or fight, flight, and freeze. Things you can do is to stand up straight and feel how tall you are. Another one, which you've probably heard in corporate life, is really about stretching our arms out and taking up that power pose, almost that Wonder Woman, that Beyonce power pose, hands on hips. And it really sort of shifts the energy in our body. And we can focus on feeling strong, powerful, and resistant with that change in posture and opening up our body language. Another option is to kind of move rhythmically. So you might sometimes want to just get up, dance around the room, just to shake off any feelings and emotions, whether someone's watching or not, and maybe laugh out loud at the same time, and it just releases pent-up energy. And then other techniques you can use is just taking a pause and thinking about what you can see, what you can hear, what you can smell, what you can touch, just to get back in tune with your body as well. The next technique that I really wanted to talk about is, as part of grounding, is to tune into the sensations of your body and what are the related emotions that are coming up. You can really do this through kind of meditation and mindfulness. There's a lot of apps on the market, such as Calm, Insight Timer, Headspace. And by that meditation, you can kind of shift in the body and just acknowledge kind of what emotions are coming up and where in the body they are. The third one is about affirmations, or kind of reframing, sort of positive affirmations, which are simple positive statements. And they're very powerful because they release us from a state of negativity, fear, worry, and anxiety, particularly when they're repeated over and over again as a sort of a daily option. And they allow us to take charge of our thoughts and slowly change our patterns of thinking, and can ultimately change our life. So my question to you is how you can reframe any kind of negative self-talk with positive thoughts. You can record affirmations and listen to them back. So subliminally, your mind is sort of constantly registering them, or you can name them. You can put them down on post-it notes and pop them around the house if you like, to constantly remind yourself and get yourself into that positive space. Or maybe pop them into on a diary and into a journal as well, so you can reflect on them, if you like, as part of your lockdown daily routine. And I'll pop some thoughts in the comments box later too. So be accepting, being non-judgmental, and if you catch yourself being critical or an unhelpful thought coming into your mind, into your head, there's a simple statement that you can use, is just to say to yourself, affirm to yourself, that's okay. Notice how it feels, how it comes up on the body, but importantly saying, I acknowledge this feeling and it will pass. The fourth one for me is around gratitude, again as part of mindfulness, is maybe at the end of the day, it's called mindfulness smiling, if you like. Just think at the end of the day of things that you're grateful for. It could be 3, it could be 5, even as many as 10 things. Mindfulness too. Think about mindfulness in terms of mindful eating, mindful listening. You can jot some ideas into a jar on sort of post-it notes, and when you need to be mindful and come back into the present, just think about how you can tune into those ideas and distract yourself to sort of counteract the overwhelm. I'll also put some top tips up for managing your stress levels as well. And number 7 is getting out of your head. So really journaling those thoughts, feelings and emotions down on paper. So here are some questions with that today that you can journal on. So grab your favourite pen, your favourite notebook and dive in. So look inside your heart and soul and what are your deepest desires. What are your dreams? Making that heart connection. What are the shoulds and the coulds, or the old beliefs or the self-limiting beliefs that you have that you're still holding on to, that might keep you in that sort of feeling of stuck and overwhelmed, particularly at the moment with our lockdown with coronavirus, but in the future in your corporate world, in your corporate lifestyle? And could you let those go? Could you look at those differently? Could you give yourself permission to let those go? And what would that allow instead? And I wonder, when you've got this time to pause and reflect and really tuning into that overwhelm, what commitments could you make to start moving forward today from a place of self-love? What could those self-care routines could be so that you're full of vitality? And during this moment of reflection, with your kind of corporate lifestyle, your professional working life, albeit you are still working from home, you're probably still on conference calls, you're probably still multitasking as well, and homeschooling. What could you choose now and for the future? As in, what could your new normal be? When you're acknowledging that period of overwhelm that you're in, what could that new normal be when life begins to return to normal and that corporate life could begin to start up as it was before? So we can all find ourselves in overwhelm, but if we connect with it with acknowledgement and curiosity, we can pick up on it. We can do something different versus being swept along, if you like, on the crest of the wave of anxiety and stress. So I'm going to pop some other thoughts, some other comments in today about mindfulness, about managing stress, and really the way we can, change that negative self-talk into sort of positive affirmations as well. So I hope that helps today with kind of overwhelm in the context of where we are now, but also kind of in that thought process of corporate life and where we take it in the future. So stay safe, stay well, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.